If you're closing less than 1 in 4 sales calls, you're leaving thousands, maybe not tens of thousands, on the table every single month. And I get it, you've probably tried new scripts, you've worked on objection handling, maybe you've even hired a sales coach. But here's the truth, the sale doesn't happen on the call. It happens before the call even starts. And if your close rate is low, there's a very, very good chance the problem isn't your sales ability. It's your process. Today, I'm going to break down the exact system we use with our clients to take close rates from 15% to 40% and beyond, step by step. Right here on this Miro board, I'm going to show you why most coaches and closers are sabotaging their own close rates before they even pick up the phone. The post-booking process that turns cold leads into ready to buy clients, and the simple assets you can set up this week to double your close rate without changing a single word on your sales calls. So if you want to stop losing deals you should be closing and finally start getting paid for what you're worth, lock in. Because this video will change the way you sell forever. Let's get into the board. Now, the big misconception in the market when it comes to taking sales calls, as I mentioned at the start, is that people focus on what actually happens on the call instead of focusing on what happens pre-call. And most people think closing equals better scripts or being better at handling 100 objections. But the actual reality is the sale is won or lost before the call even begins. And I want to walk you through a process, and I'll walk you through my process, which has allowed me to maintain a 35 to 40% close rate and cash collect 80K myself within a month. So this is not a closer on my team. This is actually me who's went and collected this money myself. Now, when someone books, the lead will book a call. The moment that triggers and that happens, what happens determines if they show up and also if they buy. And that post-booking process that you have in place is probably one of the most important things. And I want to walk you through mine. So once that lead books a call, the first thing they will see and what they'll be redirected to is a application complete, great work. But before that call, these are a few things. So if I zoom in just here, you can see, so your call, you need to follow a few steps. At the top of that, there's a VSL. So that's a call confirmation, a very short video. What this does is it pre-sells your offer before the call. So it breaks down your unique mechanism, your way, the thing that has helped your clients or the people you work with get to where they need to be in the results you have. Also, from myself, from taking hundreds of sales calls, there are common questions that do get asked. And instead of just having them as FAQs, as like words or paragraphs, I've actually done videos breaking down what all of those objections are that I usually have to face on the call. And this helps so much because by the time they jump on and they go through this process, all of those questions are already answered. The next step is testimonial, so real client results and case studies to actually build trust and show we are the authority and we know what we're doing. And this post-booking process is so important. And just to even take it a step further, like one of the most important things here is that follow-up and that SMS and email sequence. So, even before that, we've got it here. So what happens next before the call? And it's like the prospect they're in a dance. They know exactly what's going to happen before that call and what is expected and what needs to be done. So here you can see, watch these videos below. Before the call, you're going to get some reminders, so we need you to accept the invite. And also here, we've got some YouTube videos where we take them to, and we have our YouTube link as well. So we're saying exactly what happens next once they've booked that call. Now, if we scroll down a little bit, you can see here, we have EC Group Ham Event emails. So what we've done here with the team is we've got some call reminder emails. We've also got some SMS emails. And within these emails, we're actually doing objection handling. We're showing case studies again. We're redirecting them to YouTube. We're even showing them what our clients have said. We're showing them screenshots and results. And these emails are all happening automated before the call. So this is not something we're sending manually. This is set up within Go High Level. And also we've got reminders. And the most important thing with this is, we even have a reconfirmation before the call. So that prospect, 2 hours before the call, needs to reconfirm that they will be showing, which prepares myself to know, right, this person's ready, this person is, ready to go, they've gone through that process, they're excited for the call, instead of me thinking, right, is this person gonna even show up? And even for this month, so far in March, we are at 100% show up rate with 8 calls scheduled. Now, one of the most important things with these objection handling emails, you are taking data points from your sales calls you have already taken. This is one of the most important things. If you're someone who's been taking sales calls for a long time, go get your Fathom recordings and find out what that objection is that keeps coming up over and over again. Because if you can solve this and you can break the limiting beliefs before the call, there's a higher chance you're going to close before that prospect comes on. Now, if I scroll down even further, we've got proof emails. So here you can see my interview with Kieran and Kieran, who scaled to 74K cash collected. Also my interview with Luca, who scaled to 50K per month within 30 days with only 900 followers at the time. So, we're preparing the prospects to go through all of these sales assets before they actually come on the call with us. And I think the biggest mistake people make is that when someone books a call, it's like, everyone's celebrating. Everyone's like, yes, we got another call booked. The setter's excited, the closer's excited. But if you don't have these sales assets in place, instead of it being a decision-making call, it will be a sales call. Now, if we scroll down, you can see we've also got some testimonial emails. So some short wins from some of the clients we've recently onboarded within the last month. And then we've got screenshots and we've got more video testimonials in an email format. Now, one of the most important assets you can have within this is YouTube videos. And this is something I stress to my clients, even people that maybe come on a consulting call with me. YouTube is going to be one of your biggest assets. You don't do YouTube and you don't do long form to go viral. You're not trying to get 10,000 subscribers. You're not trying to get to 100,000 subscribers. Obviously, if you post long enough, yes, that can happen, but you're using these YouTube videos as sales assets. They're not just content, they're a pre-selling mechanism. And for example, I have a YouTube video here. So strategy, how it works video. So this is a 15 to 20 minute breakdown video of me going through a case study of a client in full depth of how we scaled them from 0 to 50K per month. Like real in depth, every single thing we did. And then also here, the client testimonials, the reason why they're so powerful, because it's real people, it's real results, and it lets your clients sell for you. You don't even have to do the selling. Those videos will sell for you. Now, what you don't want to do is you don't want to make these videos something that you just say, hey, here are some videos, go check them out. Everything here is all about positioning. How do we position these resources in the prospect's best interest to make sure they actually go and watch so we can have more context and we can make that call as valuable as possible. So instead, what you can say, hey, I've put together resources specifically for people in your situation. Here's a client who was exactly where you are right now. Here's what he changed and here's what they achieved. Me as a business owner, even if I was going to book a sales call with someone and they sent me this message and they said, here is a client who was in the exact same position as you are right now, who's jumped on a call with us. This is what they changed in their business and this is the result. Do you know how much intent I will have to go watch these resources? Like, you can't even imagine. Like, I'm going to watch that straight away because I want to know what it is they did, and I'm excited for this call. I'm pumped up, and this is what's going to really take your close rates from 15% all the way to the 25%. Now, if we scroll down here, so when you frame this correctly, prospects show up, they're warm, pre-sold, and they're focused on the strategy. This is the most important thing. So instead of explaining specifically what you do, how you're gonna get them there, you've got all these sales assets in place, ready and available for them to consume. So the call is more about how you're going to help them and what you're going to do for them and the strategy and where they actually want to be, instead of you breaking down the whole process and the whole system. And if you don't believe me, guys, like, this is the most important thing. Deanna and Shana were in a great position as they had a lot of lead flow. They had so many leads, they didn't even know what to do with those leads. I'm talking hundreds of leads. Their TikTok had great organic growth, and on top of this, their Instagram also had some traction, and they was doing this off 2 separate accounts, but they was only doing 8 to 10K a month. So even with those leads, they didn't have a good sales process in place to take a prospect from cold to warm. And some of their prospects were actually warm, but how do I take a prospect from warm to hot? And what we did for them, instead of just, their funnel was they had Instagram, they had a link tree. From that link tree, the person could go to YouTube, that person could go to here, that person could go to here, that person could go to here. And because of that, we weren't funneling them into one place. So improving that sales process and having a setter in place and having that setter speak to the lead, book the call, tell the lead, here's the post booking. Once you go through the post booking, here's the next steps. Here's the emails, here's the SMS reminders, increase that show up rate and also that close rate. And their starting point was 8K per month. And just by adding a post booking process with YouTube video assets, that took them from 8K to 30K cash collected in just 2 months. Now, if you want a post booking process that does the selling before you even get on the call, what I've done for you guys to my left in this video, just here on the left, there's actually a video where me, Deanna and Shauna sit down and we speak about the processes, the systems, what they felt like coming on board the VC group. And it's a full client interview where you can see everything we did to take the girls from 8K to 92K per month with their coaching offer, and now continuously going ahead to scale their business. But as I always say, I'll catch you in the next one.